Please don't start
We're
it
on-
like that though.
Why?
Does matter every time I click on one and I just hear that.
Hello. No, we're on one bar. Hopefully it'll last. I think it will. You ready to go?
Aye.
Hey, we've got a clapper boy. Give it up for the clapper boy. Come on, Soph. Sophie.
I'm not doing
Sophie,
it.
Sophie.
We're not
I
encouraging
will
you
walk
today.
out if you do that again. You know I hate it.
Hello and welcome back to Tripod Talk. Shall I say that again?
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Hello and welcome back to Tripod Talk, the official... What? Oh, do you want to do it lower?
Different.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Hello and welcome back to Tripod Talk.
NPR
Yeah.
touch.
That's alright, yeah.
That, you
I
like
prefer
that?
that.
You like that?
You sound
Compared to,
intelligent.
hello!
Yeah, I 100% prefer
Really?
that, yeah.
Oh.
I can't
Sounds
believe
less
you're surprised
annoying.
by that.
I know.
That's like me like slapping it and being like, would you prefer when I don't slap you to when I do slap you? Never would have
Fine.
guessed.
Alright. Hello! Oh, no, it's just the way that is.
You just can't help yourself, can
No,
you?
I can't. Hello and welcome back to Tripod Talk, the official podcast of What Pictures, where we talk anything and everything about films, though we do tend to go off on tangents here and there. My name
You have to
is
redo it
Matt.
because I was coughing at the
Yeah.
start.
Oh dear.
How did you blank that out?
No.
Start again.
I'm just going to keep going.
Start again.
I'm Matt Lidster.
If I just keep shouting to start again.
Oh, yeah, no, please start again.
Oh,
We want it to start off well, not with me coughing
then
over
why are
you.
you
don't
coughing
know.
over me? Stop yourself.
Like, that's a challenge to keep coughing over you.
I know,
Don't
yeah.
go there.
Hello and welcome back to Tripod Talk, the official podcast of What Pictures, where we talk anything and everything about films. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah. My name's Matt Lidster from What Pictures... Oh, sorry, I just went into my own mode there. And as always, I am joined by my wonderful co-hosts, the medium-sized grasshopper, Mr. Dillamois.
Oh, he's branching out with these.
He
Isn't
is.
Oh, I am. And the towering phenom, Sophie Ellis. Yeah?
Okay.
She loves it. Now, just before I start the podcast, I just want to address our absence last week. We're sorry. But, because it's basically because I forced everyone to watch that horrible film, then we kind of stuttered, and then we decided to do things a little bit differently, so we're going to focus more on the movie reviews and stuff like that.
So the film that we were going to review was Halloween Town. But
It
then
was
we
Halloween
changed it
Town.
to Jigsaw, did we?
We did, because that's out in cinemas, and that was fun. What did you think of the view, the scene, the cinema experience,
Yeah, it
by
was
the way?
cool, I thought. Especially considering the price of it really wasn't that much more than getting a normal cinema ticket and like a popcorn.
No.
You might as well, like, you get the nice little seating upstairs. You can chill about beforehand. You could also kind of the toilets are right there, which
Yeah.
is like, the weird, like, everybody will actually appreciate that, whether they want to admit to it.
Yeah.
Is that you can walk out, go to the toilet, and be back within like 25 seconds. Well, maybe longer if you wash your hands.
Yeah. So?
Well, we've had that experience twice now.
Alright.
So when we first went,
Yeah, you dickhead.
when we first went, we didn't really take that much advantage of it. But because there was 4 of us, we loaded up on nachos and
yeah.
popcorn and everything. I got a picture on my phone, which I can't show, where it's like all 3 popcorns, 3 drinks, and my nachos. And I just wanted to remember how proud I was that year. But what I didn't know is that they have recliner seats as well.
I didn't notice that.
No, I
Okay.
didn't. So I think it's in like the very end of them. And we had like a sofa each
Oh, yeah.
with plenty of room
Nice
for
little
2.
table-y type thing.
Yeah,
For
and we
all
couldn't
the
hear
food.
anyone else either.
No. But it was Jigsaw, to be fair. Like, there's probably only...
Yeah, there
it was a
weren't that
weird
many
time,
people.
Probably like 20 people in there.
Still.
So, I just want to pose a quick question, because I remember us talking about it before.
Okay.
The whole movie-going experience. Did that elevate it for you? Because we talked about it might be to do with the people that you go with, or just like the way that you're placed and the way that the seats are and what food, stuff like that. So did that, because, well, for everyone else it was like leather premium seats that you could turn into sofas, free food, free drinks, free everything.
It's like a balcony above the original screen.
Yeah.
Like where everyone else is sat.
Which was only like £5 more than what a normal ticket would be.
Yeah.
So we all thought it was great, but was it better?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like the way it is nowadays, in order to actually make you go to the cinema, it's like... yeah. Everyone's got massive TVs, and, like, if you do want to talk about the film afterwards, you can just WhatsApp a bunch of people, rather than, like, you don't have to go out and have an actual conversation, like have a drink or whatever with people.
Yeah.
But I think this makes the whole thing kind of worth it with a cinema as opposed to watching a film at home. Like, you get sit down in a nice kind of area, you get nice seats, you can have like a reasonable amount of snacks or the amount of snacks we decided to have.
They wanted us gone.
Our faces must be a picture as well because we arrived a bit early and the doors were locked.
Oh,
we
yeah.
We were all freaking out that it wasn't going to be on and we just wasted our time. And we were like, I don't know, either going to storm the desk or just throw ourselves off.
Yeah.
I was about to kick off downstairs.
We weren't there,
why
like,
is this not open?
An hour early though. Like even though we
Yeah.
had been, it was like one of the first scenes.
And it was
of
a
the
one-off
day.
when they'd explained to us they had like a staff emergency.
Yeah.
So you could tell it was a real problem.
We were still sat there impatiently, just staring for the nachos to come out though.
Yeah, they probably felt pressure. Is it true you told them just to hurry up with the popcorn?
Oh my god! Like,
I told you I was going to, and you were like, go for it.
Yeah, but not the way you did because we were coming out and you're already carrying stuff. You know, when you have a minute, can you just fill up that sweet one? But you just like you just cut them off talking and then walked off really slow.
Well, I waited for ages, but he was training the guys, so I was like, right, fuck it, this is the time to be the dickhead who doesn't have any consideration for people.
At least
in
you know
retail.
your role in that part.
Bear in mind, it was just like cleaned out the fridge anyway because we'd had that much.
Yeah.
Oh well.
The guy was making like a real effort to smile at me as well as we went in afterwards and stuff, and I was like, I'm not a psycho. This is the one time I've been weak. It was just like, we need it quicker, please.
But no, I'm glad that enhanced the cinema experience at least. Because I thought it was mint when we first found out about it.
Yeah, we were so excited.
Well, me and my brother first heard about it when it was about 25 quid, maybe in one of the different cinemas, and we were like, we just couldn't validate it at that cost. But 15 quid with what cinema tickets cost now and stuff like,
Yeah.
it's absolutely worth a go. Isn't it?
Especially for the middle of town as well.
Mm.
Also, they do have like cinema tickets in the morning that are like 3-4 quid. If
Yeah.
you saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the set price on Monday as well if you go at a certain point. So.
I like what they're doing with the place.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
we're not
it.
sponsored by View, we're sponsored by What Pictures, so we've got some film news to do.
Just sit by ourselves.
Get out.
Right. Film news, even though this isn't film, but never mind. Lord of the Rings, Amazon, Warner Brothers in talks for a series adaptation.
Nope.
Alright, next one. Zachary Levi to star as Shazam in upcoming DC film.
I'm excited about that.
I didn't watch the original one. Is the original one got Shaq in it?
I've not seen the original
No,
one.
that's Kazam. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say there's never been a film.
I was like, Shazam, what the hell? Okay, there's another film called Kazam, which has got Shaq in it, which I'm going to
okay.
That's something to do with the genie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaq, that's genius.
Yeah, also, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in talks to play the villain of that film, Black Adam, so that could be quite fun.
Well, it is a film that's coming out, so I presume he was obviously in talks
I know,
with it.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Here's the one that I told you that was going to be annoying to you, which is quite funny.
It's going to be something Disney related and they're going to ruin it, aren't they?
It is!
Oh.
Disney's Lion King unveils full cast. Want to know who's in it?
I know who's in it, actually.
Oh dear.
You can
I
still
can't,
list it though.
yeah, I can't fully remember, but I remember being pissed.
Oh really? One of them annoyed me, but some of them I was like, okay, I can see that. But one of them really
One
annoyed
of
me.
them is...
Beyonce
Yes.
as Nala.
Pissed me off.
Yeah.
Come
Isn't she
on.
Nala?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. What bitch.
Just for some of the people as well, Donald Glover as Simba.
Yeah, I'm
I
excited
thought that
about
was
that.
quite good.
Try that.
James Earl Jones reprises his role as Mufasa. Also, I don't really want to point this out, but I will. It was quite funny when I was going through the thingy from, because we shot something else. But last time I said something about the Lion King, I called him Mustafa. And it's Mufasa. But never mind. Chiwetel, I can never say his
She was
name.
allergic for.
That's it, as Scar.
There we go.
Don't know who that is.
He's Mordo in Doctor Strange.
12 Years a Slave.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the comic book thing.
I knew she'd get that one. And Alfred Woodard as Sarabi, Simba's mum, and that is the other one that will annoy you. Luke Cage, bad villain. Her, the woman.
Oh, God. Yeah, the one that was in Avengers as well.
Wasn't in Defenders, you mean?
No, she was by the lift when Tony Stark.
Oh yeah. Yeah, good. All right, I'll give you
Good
that.
spot.
Yeah, no, there's this woman who plays a small role in Civil War, but then she also got a major role in one of the Netflix films. So it's...
Yeah, but she won't have a main part in that.
I like
This
some of the
one's not in it.
I like some of the people in smaller roles in Lion King though. Like I'm sure John Oliver's in it and a few other kind of interesting people. Maybe Louis Theroux, but I might be making that up. But I just think like although some of the casting I'm a bit like
See, I'd love for them to get Rowan Atkinson back.
yeah. I don't think they have. I think
Nah.
the one would like.
He's the bird.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I hate putting them together.
Oh,
Did you
sorry.
see who was Timon and Pumbaa?
No, I didn't.
I mean-
That's all as far as I read. I mean, you can have a look if you want.
Yeah, no, I remember. I wanted
I
to
feel like
tell
one
you
of
who
them
it
might be
was.
John Oliver. But...
I know who's directing it as well. It's Jon Favreau, who also did Jungle Book.
Oh,
He's
really?
also more known
He's a
for Iron
solid
Man.
director.
Yeah, he's great. So I'm quite looking forward to it. I mean, I've still got to watch the Jungle Book.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I'm sure I've heard it was decent. I think.
Also, apparently at the D23, the expo for Disney stuff.
Mm.
Apparently the crowd went ballistic for the footage that was shown. So apparently it's going to be quite promising.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen is Pumbaa.
Yeah, that's all.
And Billy Eichner is Timon. Eric Andre is in it, which I think is cool.
Oh my god.
John Oliver is Zazu. So John Oliver is Rowan Atkinson, which I can see working actually.
Oh yeah.
Like the same kind of two Americans, that British sense of humour is the same thing.
I was very happy about Seth Rogen doing that.
Donald
That's
Glover would be
weird.
great as well.
Yeah, Donald Glover's
I
good.
think even Beyonce, whatever, I'm fine with just Donald Glover makes it up for me.
He fits to the
Beyonce's.
role like a hand in a glove. Now, next piece of stuff.
Southfields.
Piece of news. I know you want to stay away with it, but never mind. House of Cards star Kevin Spacey been suspended from the Netflix drama amid mounting claims of sexual assault. Also, this is where it links into film stuff, Netflix cancelled the Gore Vidal biopic, Gore, which was set to star Kevin Spacey.
Oh, shit.
So
I think they've said since, haven't they, that they'd consider killing the character off and keeping House of Cards going.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know whether I'd want that. As I do think, I haven't watched this like the most recent couple of seasons, but Robin Wright, who plays his wife, is kind of like, she's kind of the more interesting character as she's become. So I'd be fine with them pivoting off and just having her as the lead and doing her own thing.
Yeah, because just because they cancel it doesn't mean it didn't happen in the first place, so it's unfair on everyone else that they should stop.
Well, that's I read an article saying that, like, what about this side of all these things happening is that
Yeah.
thousands of people are losing work
Yeah.
because of all of these scandals, and sometimes, like, it's a dodgy one, isn't it? But there has to be a scale to these things. Like, if someone was to tweet, like, I've noticed with someone like tweeted something a bit like a dodgy joke 20 odd years ago. I think it might be like an MP who lost his job, which is super unrelated. But like, I felt like that happening might be a bit like. If you tweeted something 20 years ago before you had any interest in going into politics and then you lose your job, then it's not really fair.
Yeah, I don't like stuff like
Though
that.
Twitter wasn't invented 20 years ago. So.
Alright, not 20 years ago. It wasn't tweeted. I can't remember.
I get what you mean though, like something from the past kind of brought
Yeah,
back
you've
up.
got to be
when it's-
proportionate with the stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if you're Kevin Spacey to people, then fine, you lose your job. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's been a bit creepy.
So yeah, we'll stay away from that with a bit of weird news.
Weird news.
Weird news. I didn't know this was a thing. Apparently it's like a week old, the news, but never mind. Lionsgate unveils world's first Hunger Games theme park.
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Lionsgate and Dubai Parks and Resorts have partnered to celebrate the opening of the world's first Hunger Games theme park based on, you know what it is, on the films and the books. Features newly designed marquee attractions. Alright, come on. Pan Am Aerial Tour.
Oh.
A hovercraft simulator experience with an exciting twist. The Capital Bullet Train, which takes riders on a triple launch roller coaster that travels forward twice and backwards once. Peter's Bakery,
Oh
a
my
food and
God.
beverage
This is
station.
the stupidest thing
Yeah.
I've ever heard of.
Serving over 20 themed delicacies and local favourites. Pan Am Supply Co., a retail destination carrying unique and exclusive merchandise. And the Coal Miners Clash, a festive, high-energy percussion show
I'd kind of
based
dig that.
on one of Pan Am's districts.
I'd go there.
Oh God, I know you would. The worst part about it is it's not even the fact that it's a cash grab, it's that it's a, like, half-assed cash grab.
Yeah.
And all of those things sounded a bit like Hovercraft Simulator, a bit like they got the one that you see in every single arcade.
Yeah.
Like, or the bullet train, just none of it sounds that impressive. Like,
It did look alright. I mean, I haven't got pictures now, but I can show you after the podcast.
where's the bow and arrow? The minute you said it, I was like, there's got to be something to do with archery.
Yeah.
Or like
There might be
like,
some smaller attractions where, like arcades and stuff where you can get one of them things and hit something.
When you said it, I was immediately like, if it isn't just ditching kids in the wilderness, then it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's not interesting.
Because you can't just, like, it's still a serious thing. You're still kind of denigrating from the point of the films by just having stupid shit like this.
See how it's because I'm a massive coaster head as well. I was thinking something more like Dueling Dragons, if you've heard of that. You know, like where two coasters kind of intertwine with each other, and you could be like the capital of the rebels. But no, they didn't go for that.
Get in touch with him.
Yeah, I should do. I'd be like, yo, make this. Thanks. Yeah, so that was the film news for this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go. You comfy?
Have you heard they're going to make another? They've said they've got at least another 10 years of Star Wars films lined up.
Yes. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel good if it's going to be just maybe another trilogy of the canon stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too fond. I thought Rogue One was okay, but like some of the,
Side films.
Yeah, I'm not too fussed on.
I like the alternating years thing. I think that's the best way to do it because you do want them quite regularly, but you wouldn't want a new Star Wars every year. It just get a bit excessive.
Yeah.
So I think having an actual original one every 2 years, but also having that on the year off, I kind of thought it was a really good plan. I can see that happening a lot in the future.
See, I'd love to see The Force Unleashed made as a film.
Now the game.
Yeah.
That'd be
I reckon
interesting.
that'd be amazing to watch because it even though they did it with Rogue One, they still waited 20 years in between episode 3 and 4, whereas this actually kind of tells the story of how the last remaining Jedi got wiped out and then how the rebellion actually came about, because the rebellion was already made by the time Rogue One happened. So you don't know what I'm on about, do you?
Not really.
But no, that's an awesome game, which would be an awesome story for a film.
Great. So,
All right, well, I guess we're not talking about Star Wars anymore. What do you want to talk about, Soph?
the film we watched.
Oh yeah, Jigsaw.
Yeah.
The only film of the Saw franchise I've actually seen in the cinema.
Matt, tell us what happened.
Oh
Oh!
Got him.
no!
Please do this well, because I've prepared one, and if it doesn't...
Oh, so if you want to do it, that's fine.
No,
Matt,
it's
tell us
alright.
about another film you've seen. Maybe you can tell us about Jigsaw.
No, go on.
Right, okay. So,
There we go. Name at least 3 characters from the film.
excuse me. I'm
Ooh.
telling the plot of the story.
Go on.
That's your next question.
That's your challenge. If you don't
I
get
haven't
that.
told the story of the film
Come on.
yet.
Come on.
No.
Alright, tell the story.
Right, so I'm going to tell the story about the plot first. Plot story. Story
You can do
plot.
it properly afterwards.
Okay, guy running away from the cops. He's got like a hand on a trigger or something like that, and he's like,
Do we want to just talk through the whole story, seeing as a film that's just coming out?
oh yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
Why don't you say what the film's actually about, not like a run through what happens?
Oh right, okay, so sorry, you got me off guard here.
Oh, it's not nice, is it?
No, it's fine, it's fine, it's
Yeah.
fine.
You get it now, don't you?
So basically, it's pretty much like any other Saw film. There's a lot of people who've done some bad things who have to seek redemption by doing awful stuff. And they might die, they might not.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much every Saw film, and that was this film, but with like a little bit of a twist, which was refreshing in a sense, even though it still had the same sort of shit.
Okay,
Anything to add?
sure. So I looked up a simple film synopsis.
Alright.
And it describes it as, after a series of murders bearing all the markings of the Jigsaw killer, law enforcement officials find themselves chasing the ghost of a man who's been dead for over a decade. They become embroiled in a new game that's only just begun. Is John Kramer back from the dead to remind the world to be grateful for the gift of life, or is the trap set by a killer with designs of his own?
So what did you think of the film?
Oh, don't do this to me. I thought it was alright. I mean, my problem with it a lot was it got hard to, like, some of the dialogue, basically anything happening around the Jigsaw scenes, I couldn't hear at all, because it was just screaming over, like, obviously saws and shit. And then I just thought structure-wise it got a bit confusing. But I thought it was alright. Like, I liked the twists. The characters were fine. Although I also didn't really give a shit if any of them or all of them died.
Yeah.
But I think that's the standard thing with me in horror films. Like, I think they don't really put enough energy into making you actually give a shit about the characters. Like, it's just one of those, like, a real horror movie fan would just do that.
That's
What-
fair enough.
what did
Are
you
we
think?
spoiling things anyway? Is this an ultimate spoiler just so I can say what I want to say?
You say it if you want to.
Cool.
Okay.
Right, so,
Sorry, I need to stop saying that.
right at the end, it's revealed that Logan is the new Jigsaw. But Logan was the only character throughout it all that I didn't want to die. He was the only one
Was
that
it the one
I
you
felt...
kind of liked?
Yeah, because I didn't want to, like,
Because they
we
gave
said,
him
didn't
they
we?
gave him the daughter and, like, the whatever.
Yeah,
that
so I think
dead wife.
It was clever in that way, but it was a bit samey with there's been 3 different types, including him, where he's got an apprentice and they've gone through some sort of trial because they've wronged him, and then he decides to just take them on because they survived it. And even though it was clever the way it was all done, and they were just like structured, so he was alive when you saw him, but it was 10 years ago, and then he was replicating of the original people that were killed. It was just a bit samey for the first and second, I think it was, with Amanda and Hoffman.
Yeah, well, that seems to be the theme of these Saw films.
There is rumours that it's going to carry on with him being the new Jigsaw now. Because it was left as Eleanor sort of assumed that Halloran was Jigsaw. Do you remember? She was so convinced that it was him.
Yeah.
And then she ran off. So it could be about her investigating after he's died and that sort of thing. But I was looking into reviews, which is my favourite thing to do about films like this. And the top things that came up were: watching Jigsaw go about his torture business is about as interesting as watching a child burn ants. A dumb and ugly waste of energy, resources and time. And then someone else put, the 8th instalment in the Saw franchise features a few clever traps but also has sadly thin characters and ridiculous twists.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I genuinely thought the twist was quite good.
I was going to say that. I felt like the film got made kind of because somebody came up with the twist first and was like, that's cool. Like the whole timeline thing. And then they were like, okay, that's a good idea. You can make the film on that. And then they just had to fill in the gaps with the characters and traps and stuff, and it got a bit... That was where it was a bit weak. But I thought, like, if everything around it were good, that could have been a really, really good film. It's hard to place.
Yeah, I thought it was, like, I didn't think they were too bad. I just thought they were kind of the same. Which is mainly most Saw films. They're all just kind of the same.
Yeah, because people wanted this to be like... Because it was supposed to be Saw Legacy, this one, I think. And then it got changed to Jigsaw.
Call response.
And I think people thought it'd be more of like not a reboot, but something completely original in comparison to the other ones. Because if we thought that he was dead, that something new would have come of it, but it didn't. And then a lot of people just said that it was more like torture porn than anything else.
Yeah, it was almost like laughable because it was so over the top.
Yeah.
Like when it was like a head sliced in half diagonally front ways.
Yeah,
For
that
like
was a bit.
like a bunch of screen time, and it's just like that isn't necessary or really having an effect on me. It's just kind of just there to be there.
Yeah, well, it was classed as Jigsaw is the best comedy of the year. And it also says that Jigsaw shows why audiences lose faith in horror franchises, which I kind of understand. I enjoyed Saw from 1 to 4 or 5. I think I didn't watch it after that, and then there was a Saw 3D, which I just didn't give the time of day.
Was that 3? Like Saw 3? 3D?
No, Saw 3D was like 6 or 7.
Oh, that's confusing.
Yeah. Don't know why, just to show off like most films do when they do a 3D one. But that followed more around his wife, his ex-wife. She had involvement in it. Because, bit of a backstory, the reason that he started making people like try and survive and stuff and going between right and wrong was because someone was robbing a place, I think, and he opened the door outwards and slammed his pregnant wife in the stomach and she lost a baby.
Yeah, I remember that. Which
I can't remember.
3?
Maybe.
I don't know. They all blur together.
Yeah, well that was one of the main reasons, and then it sort of follows around her, which is interesting. But it's just always is he dead? Is he not? Who's in on
Well, he's
it?
officially dead now.
Yeah.
Like, spoiler alert, he's dead. But yeah, I thought it was okay. So who was your favourite character?
Sorry. This is only going to get worse.
I think we're fine to go.
You just describe them, because I don't know the names.
Okay, fine. So there was shrill blonde woman who, like, stole a bag before.
Oh, yeah.
No, not a fan of her. There was the kind of, what was he? The youngish guy. I can't remember what he even did.
Their motorbike that was faulty.
Oh yeah, and he sold it to the kid who died.
Yeah.
Who was Jigsaw's nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
didn't really care about him.
nah.
There was other woman who was trying to make everyone work together. I think she was the one I was meant to care about, but also she also had she did the worst thing, didn't she? She smothered a baby.
Yeah. It's
Not-
kind of obvious that was.
Yeah, that she did. She killed the baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they made that way bright, like clear as day.
Yeah.
Then there was the guy who was just there to be obnoxious, and he was like served his purpose.
Yeah, he's the one that had like a couple of funny lines, like, "Oh, that's not scary at all," you know, that for the doll coming out.
See, he was my favourite character.
I think he
Really?
kind of wins by proxy because he had a bit of something to him. The others were just a bit. You're all just so boring and doing exactly what you're meant to be doing.
He was the most relatable, like when he had his leg caught. Like most people, like, oh yeah, I sacrifice myself, I do this. But if you're actually in that situation, you can't always say that you'd go to help those people over yourself when you're in that amount of pain. So he was the most relatable.
Also, just his quips. Also, it's mainly more because he had the best story arc of any of the characters, because like he kind of went through everything, and then he kind of figured it out at the end as well. What was the the clue to actually get out? And then he learnt the most from it.
You know, Dad.
Yeah.
It was kind of annoying though, like both things. One, that he was getting tortured at that point, even though most of the things that he's being tortured for was when he was like 16, 17. Like he waited that entire amount of time and then kidnapped him. And then he had no chance of escaping at the end just because Mad Cow decided to try and shoot him instead of thinking more closely into what he was saying.
I've been watching Mindhunters recently as well, and I think this may just be because of how like characters moved along since then. But I've noticed like in Mindhunters they can introduce a new kind of killer, and within a couple of minutes I'll already find it more interesting than I did that entire time with the John Raymer dude. Like some bad shit happened, he decided this moral thing. He's totally unshakable in his belief that's the right thing.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of like, well, this guy's got nothing to him. He's just a old guy who lost his mind and he's good at killing people.
Yeah.
But like, I just thought as a villain, I was like, this guy's not even that got much to him really to scare me.
Like most serial killers and stuff usually have some form of like charisma and some sort of likability, and that's why it scares you a bit more because
Like
you can be drawn in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it's just a normal guy who went over the edge, but with him, it's like he was always a fucking weirdo. Like the guy sat in the background just staring at like your little sister.
Yeah. So specific.
So who was your favourite character?
My favourite character was between two. I liked Keith and Logan.
Keith.
Keith was
black
the
guy.
black guy.
Oh, he's fucking annoying.
I really liked him.
I liked him. He was alright.
You could just see, like, he was just thrown in to tick some boxes. Like a bit of a kind of, we'll get a black guy in, we'll have him be a bit like voodoo-y and just stand around in the background and be friends with people that makes him useful. I don't know, I just thought he was a bit of a play rather than a character.
It's a weird way of describing it, but I kind of understand that. But like, again, we said with Logan and he had his family and stuff, and you were so torn between whether it was like Holleran or you thought it was the girl that was obsessed with Jigsaw. Or there was a part of me that thought it was Keith. You know, like he was in the background. I was like, if he ends up being Jigsaw, I'm going to be pissed.
I think that didn't occur to me just because all serial killers are white is what you basically taught. Like if you think about all these shows, they are, because it tends to be a fact as well, like the planning and organisation, like it's a bigger sociological point, but most serial killers are white males.
Stay away from white.
Yeah, just
white
avoid
males.
white men. Like Chris Rock's got a bit about it, like he says he's not afraid of anybody, but if he gets into a lift and like a 16-year-old white kid gets in, he's shitting himself the entire time. Because he's like, I do not know what's going on in this boy's head.
It was the worst character.
Oh, come on, that's a competition there. Do a
Worst
draft
character?
just on that.
You can either choose by the worst character actually in the film or just the worst character actually acted and performed by one of the actors.
Then for both of them, the blonde girl.
I was going to say the same. She was just a unnecessary feature for me.
You know when she had to pick the needle and all she was doing was screaming, but it wasn't. I didn't believe it. She was just sort of like screaming, but she didn't look like she was begging for her life or anything. I was glad her face melted with acid.
Yeah. She was
That
doing
was
a bit
gruesome.
It seemed a bit like Route 1 acting. Like, I'll just scream and pull faces and stuff, and it was just like, there's nothing really human about what's going on right now.
No.
Also, she got killed just because that guy wanted to stab her with all three.
The chances of her surviving it. Plus, like, if she actually said the number, like...
Yeah, that annoyed me. I was like, why not just... What are you worrying about? Have a go. They're going to stab you anyway.
I know,
Just take the guess.
Like, she said the amount that she stole, and that was on one of the syringes, so instead of screaming, she should have known that that was the one that was...
Mm-hmm.
Also, how does Jigsaw know what she took?
I don't know, but I don't know half the stuff that... Like, how would he know that she killed the baby? Do you know what I mean? And then
they tried to make it like he was next door and he heard it through the walls.
Yeah, but how can he tell the difference between the pillow going over the head and being suffocated by someone's body? It would still be the same, right?
Yeah.
The one main thing that got me was, how did Eleanor have that much stuff in a random warehouse? I mean, is she loaded?
How's she making this equipment? Like, she's getting like a team of scaffolders in to make like a structure for her to actually make. It was just crazy. Like, who has this much free time? I like barely managed to get through a TV show in my time in the evenings, and she's like got a whole fucking torture dungeon, or warehouse in fact.
Yeah.
Set up by herself.
She has had like 10 years from when it first started though, because before 10 years, because if he's been dead for 10 years and she said that the motorbike one, that was one of the first ones he ever used before Saw 1.
So maybe it was about 15 years that she's been a fan.
Yeah, because the Saw that all the people that died before the people in Saw 1, so...
I think another thing that might have detracted from it for me is that, like, I never really believed that her or Halloran were the actual killers. Like, they just, do you know, like, the way they were framed? It was just too obvious that they were diversionary people. Do you know, like, when you're watching House or something, they always have, like, a diagnosis before a diagnosis, and then it comes to whatever. Or, like, in Scooby-Doo...
So I was just going to say Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, like that, they'll choose one character, two characters, and it's, like, the third one or something like that.
Yeah, the one that's always jealous of someone.
I could just tell it wasn't those two, and they were just a diversion.
Who did you think it was then? Did you think it was Logan?
I didn't think it was Logan, but I wasn't... At that point, I think I was more just on popcorn.
Yeah.
Focusing on that.
What about you?
No, I was surprised that it was Logan.
Yeah.
It was just funny when they're trying to do their exposition, like, whilst the character's screaming with a saw coming at them.
Yeah.
And they're like, who are you? And I'm like, well, my name's Andy.
Yeah.
You could have done this when I could hear what they were saying.
Right, so what did you learn from this film?
Oh my
did you
God,
learn anything?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, this is the last question before we get into our new segment, the 5-star movie review. But yeah, anything you learned? Just don't go and see a Saw film, or...
See, I always... With Saw films, I kind of understand where he's coming from. Like, it's not his place.
But you can see why he'd want to regain...
Yeah, it's kind of like Seven.
Yeah.
Like, he...
Oh, don't bring up Kevin Spacey.
Like, obviously, it's not their place to do that, but they're making a point. Whereas Jigsaw's actually giving them that chance to redeem themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And because he was diagnosed with cancer and it was terminal, he was sort of like, well, why have I got my life is ending and I've not done anything, yet you're getting away with all this and you're not really paying for it. So...
I think it's just kind of, it's become a bit dated as a horror character just because it's fine, that's what they were like at the time, but now you need to try a bit harder. Like, the whole terminal thing now doesn't really play because it's just a bit too easy.
Yeah.
So I think, like, we've had to move to kind of smarter tricks to do character stuff now.
Yeah, like, I have sort of, like, taken something from it where for, like, 5-10 minutes after the film, I'm like, oh yeah, it does make you appreciate it, but then you get back to normal. I don't really think it's something that sticks with you.
No, yeah.
The only thing that sticks with me is the theme tune, because I'm obsessed with it. That's all Saw really gives me.
It didn't even register with me at all.
I was doing that in the front room before.
I know, it is
scary.
Right, okay, so we're going to go straight into the 5-star movie review, which is basically, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. We're all going to answer the 5 questions. And for each one that the majority votes for, they get a star. So we're going to see how many stars this film is.
Okay.
Right, okay, so, does the story make any sense?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, I'll give
What do you mean, why?
Why is it better?
Sorry.
Because it's telling technically the origin and the present at the same time. Even though it's structurally like confusing because you're going back and forth, by the end it makes a lot more sense that it's an apprentice that's done it and how he's done it.
I think if you look back at it with like a bit of a forgiving eye, you can see like, oh, that's actually kind of clever. Like the way they've strewn the two together.
Yeah.
Like I do actually like that as a concept. I just don't think it was quite pulled off.
Fair enough. All right. So you both go yes.
Yeah.
I'll go yes as well. So that's 1 star.
Okay.
Well done, Jigsaw. You got 1 star so far. Now, did the movie flow? Like flow well? Was it like easy to understand? Like you weren't.
I would say no. Pretty definitively.
I don't feel like any of the Saw movies fully flow. There's always something where you're not sure what's going on. So yeah, probably no.
No. All right. I was going to say maybe, but I think maybe is a bit of a you have to be yes or no.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go no with that. Just because, like you say, there were bits where it was a bit too loud, where you can't hear characters and you don't know where it's going because of the way it's structured. But then again, it does make sense at the end, so you're kind of a bit. Yeah. So we'll leave that one. No star for that. Did you feel connected to the characters?
No.
No. All right. Straight out there.
That's the easy
No.
one.
Yeah, no, I didn't really feel any connection. Did the film achieve diegetic absorption? Which is basically, did you get through the film without any distractions? You weren't. No.
Yeah, no, I wasn't anywhere near that. No, I think quite a lot. I was like looking over at you guys and Tom to be like, are you guys following this? just to see what you were doing. Like I was hoping you'd be like me and just like 80% popcorn, 20% film.
See, at the start I was all about the nachos, but as soon as the lights went off I couldn't see what I was doing. So I lost interest in the food. In a way I was, and I used to be really into gore, and but I feel like the entire film was just based off gore and no other proper storyline.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't, because
Fair
it just
enough.
seemed like a cop out.
Yeah, no.
You say no as well.
Yeah, I say no as well. So it's only got 1 star so far, and I think
It's
that's
not surprising.
yeah.
Is it going to stay that way?
I think it is.
Probably.
So
Okay.
did the movie change you as a person?
No. There's no way I can give it that credit.
No.
It barely stayed with me as I was going downstairs out the building, which is like nice and full. Something happened with someone just having half a face. Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I think it was a
I
passable
think that's
film.
ambitious to give a film, but I like it as a criteria to take it from like a 4 star to a 5 star. To say like, you can really enjoy a film, but there are certain films that you watch and it's like, I'm definitely going to think differently forever because of watching that film, and that kind of
Yeah.
is indicative of a 5-star film.
So, yeah.
No one there for me. You guys?
Oh yeah, no, not at all, not one bit.
No, it wouldn't have changed me, but at the same time, when another one comes out next Halloween, like it always does, I will probably go and watch it.
Yeah, it was an okay time. It's just
I enjoyed
wasn't
the
really
film.
anything special. It had like a
Yeah.
nice little twist. It was cohesive enough to actually kind of follow the story through. The gore, I wouldn't say it was too much, especially by the standards of previous films, but it was just kind of maybe that Helter Skelter thing was a bit too much.
Well, it wasn't having an effect.
You know, where he kind of hands, like he has to put his hand in, and then he was just like, oh, and then it was, and then he was just like,
I like that.
See, I like that because again, that had an effect on you, but a lot of it was just like something sat there in the background or just like something dripping with blood. And I was just like, I don't see how this is going to scare anybody. It doesn't seem real like that.
Yeah.
It just seems a bit like filmish and cartoony, and it's not really like having any kind of impact. And like I think some of the time spent just holding on shots like that, if you'd have done a bit more character stuff, it could have worked, or like made the two like timelines flow a bit better. It could have helped the film a lot more than a bit more time on a brain or whatever it was going on.
See, I don't think they've ever fully developed on that many characters in the Saw.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm
franchise.
coming to it as a newbie. I've not watched any of them. So
Yeah.
This is just probably just like old hat to people who are fans of Saw.
There's
Not what they want from it, really.
Yeah, there's one woman, Amanda, who they focus on quite a lot, and she's the only one that's proper got like a backstory to her. Whereas like even the first Saw, where it's literally based around 2 men in one bathroom, you still don't get too much of a background on them both.
But the thing is, like certain films, okay, I accept it's not about character. It's all about action and pace and what you see in like The Raid, for example. Like that's a film that's amazing that's got no character. Like you're given a bit like he's got a wife, like, and then he's religious, but that's literally it. And then it's just
Yeah.
we don't care whether you're buying from this guy. You're gonna watch it because of the action, and you're gonna like him because of what he can do.
Yeah.
But I don't think this film kind of reached the standards that did with action to qualify it in its own horror spectrum. If that
Give
makes
it
any sense.
Yeah.
No, that's a good analogy then.
Yeah, because you do need that sort of like relation to the characters, have sympathy or to have that sort of emotion towards them. Otherwise, you're just watching people die and you don't really have any sort of effects from it. I'm trying to think of a film that kind of like
Pure.
Hostel and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
It's
was
pure
gonna say,
gold,
yeah.
but you're still kind of.
It's just a fuck with it. Like,
Yeah.
I've not seen, like, I don't know what, like, Texas Chainsaw or something like that.
Mm.
But maybe some of those older ones where it's just, like, impact it has when you're watching it.
Yeah.
Whereas now you get more, like, The Ring and Insidious and stuff, and it's a bit more psychological and you are invested in the people.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a massive callback
Oh,
to the first ever episode that we did that
Oh,
did
wow.
this really well, which was Train to
Oh,
Busan.
God. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
In
that's
the-
true. Just relentless. Actually, I like the character stuff with them, but
Yeah.
they weren't trying too hard at all.
But that's the point as well. You managed to still get those little character moments in, even with the awesome action
Yeah, it was
set
very
pieces as
efficient.
well.
Really
So
efficient.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just been downhill since then. But
I would definitely say like Fat Mob Guy in that film is an infinitely better character than anybody. Like, even a lot of films we've seen recently.
Yeah.
Definitely Halloween Town as well. Like, even though he's given barely any character effort, he's just something about him I liked. But
Yeah,
they talk about that in general with like movie stars, though, isn't it? There's just something about some people's faces that you want to watch on screen, and they can
Yeah.
express things in a way that's you can take in a lot, or a lot of people can understand the emotion they're trying to give you.
Yeah.
So that's not really something you can blame some people for having or not. Like, some people just have expressive faces, and some people just have likable faces.
Yeah. I understand that.
That's a good point. We'll wrap this up then. Right, okay, so what we're going to be doing now is something we call... We did do it in the live, but we'll explain it again. Even though no one knows what it is, so I can't really say it again. But, Sophie,
Smooth.
we have a new segment,
Yeah.
well, kind of new thing at the end, where we're talking about the
Bucket list.
bucket list. So what is the bucket list? Adele?
Okay.
No, it's alright, Sophie will explain.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, each week we used to recommend a film under a certain genre, but we're going to scrap that. And we're going to put a list of films that we've not really seen or classics that I know, well, I've not seen, don't know about you guys. And we'll take it in turns, well, you guys will take it in turns to pick a number, and we'll watch that for each week and review it the following week.
Alright, though next week I do want a bucket, and for them all to be in a bucket, and we can reach into the bucket and pill it out, pick
Pill
it
it
out.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once a month, if not more, we'll be going watching films in the cinema, so...
So live reviews now are not.
So the next film that will be out will be Justice League in 1.5 weeks.
Oh shit! All right.
So that'll be in the next coming weeks anyway.
Cool.
Sweet. All right.
All right. So
More
who
comment.
wants to pick the number
I know. Yeah. Sorry. Adele, you choose the first number.
between 1 and 21?
17.
17.
17.
It's gonna be like The Notebook or something.
Oh, sorry.
Which I
I
kinda like
just
The Notebook.
clipped the mic there.
No. Kidnap.
What is that?
What the hell is that?
You'll have to find out. It's Halle Berry. A typical afternoon in the park turns into a nightmare for single mother Carlo when kidnappers snatch her young son Frankie with no cell phone, no time to wait for police. Dyson jumps into a car to follow the vehicle that holds Frankie. And then it's just...
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I guess we're watching Kidnap this week.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Does anybody else want to say anything?
I don't know. You want to wrap up Instagram, all that shit?
Yeah, because you're not doing film tip anymore because you gave up that, didn't you?
Hey. Yeah, kind of.
It's fine.
Anyway, we'll round it up there.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for listening. If you got this far, again, we all congratulate you. Please follow us on social media. All links will probably be in the description below. Also, if you want to help out the channel, go to patreon.com to become a patron of What Pictures itself. We'd be very much appreciative. My name's Matt Lidster. I've been joined by...
Delano?
And
Sophie Alice.
and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
See ya.
Bye.
There.